Okay, good morning and welcome to Mo Knows featuring me, Monica Mo Justice. Okay. Hey Donna. I'm just setting up the stuff that I don't do because I come in through Zoom before I get here because I can't without using OBS. I need to take more time to figure this out. But today's discussion is going to I'm want to bring your attention to this is my two thoughts Tuesday. And usually I try to take two independent thoughts and bring them into one issue. So here we are. Should cameras be in the courtroom? And I need a question mark at the end of that. So please forgive me. Having seen the so first, I'm from the New York area, and we do not have. Good morning, San Francisco. We do not have cameras in the courtroom. We do not have cameras. I was very shocked yesterday. Um, there's a trial that is brewing up in New York, and it is the trial against, and I will talk some YSL today because this is why. This is the other side of my argument or concern about cameras being in a courtroom. But I want to start out with New York. They have a case that they're currently picking jurors for. I actually had some folks, some friends of mine, who were um in the jury pool and they were released, right? So this how I heard of this. Um so the trial is the young man, he's ex-military, was on the train. He strangled um a trained performer, and I'm being very loose with the language trained performer. This is somebody that performed on the train for money. It's called panhandling, just like people be on this internet um begging people for super chats in every chat so that they could live off of. People go on the New York City transit line, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, and they panhandle. There are two type of panhandlers on the New York City transit line. You get those that come on there and just ask you for money. No, there's probably like three types. There will be some that will come through, and I haven't ridden the train. I haven't been on the subway line. Oh my God, in so many years. Since I left Harlem, I haven't been on the subway line. So y'all remember it was like I haven't taken a subway since 2020. Good morning, Miss Shaw. I haven't taken a subway line since 2020 because it's dangerous down there. Between the rats and then the undesirables, I don't know which one is worse. And I think I'm a walking billboard to be a welcome a walking billboard to be assaulted or robbed or something. So I just ain't trying. I'm not trying nobody subway if I don't have to. I do take the PATH train. I did take the Long Island Railroad. Those are not the MTA lines. I had some stalker on this internet claim that I was sitting on, and I don't even know what letter it was, but I was sitting on some train that he was on and he confronted me. Never. N- I'm extremely bougie for that at this moment. Now, if I should ride the subway, I'll let y'all know, but I'm gonna be very mad that I got on it. But I do you know, that's my subway story. Anyway, this guy was there's So there's the people that beg, there's the people that come through with food and they claim that they are collecting money for the homeless and they got sandwiches and stuff inside a cart and if then they got this whole spill. If you're homeless, you can have one of my sandwiches. Many years ago, we looked at the man's sandwiches, they were rotten. But he was coming through with the same spill every night. And the reason why I know his sandwiches was rotten because I thought that we could link the guy to like a nonprofit organization, like make him make a connect, and then I found out it was a scam. So much for my good Samaritan side of me. Good and then there's the third, the guy was trying to change his status. And then there's the third type of panhandler on the train, and those are the performers. Generally, the performers started out with people singing on the platform. And then the MTA made that some kind of formal agreement with them, giving them different places to do their performances and make it legal. They got their little setup where they are singing or they're playing a musical instrument and they get paid for it. Then there's our lovely children that will come through the carts and they will do all kinds of dancing on the train, almost try to kill you with their feet. They'll be up on the roof of the ceiling of the train or whatever, right? But they're entertainment. So people would pay them for that. It beats being robbed by them going through the thing. You'll get some people that'll come through there and tell you they used to rob people. That's why they're begging right now. Can you give them some money so they don't have to rob people? This particular performer, I don't know what happened on the train that day, but he got he either was intimidating or people felt intimidated by him on the train. And then this young man, his defense is going to be in defense of others, decided to restrain him. And there's a whole video of him restraining him and other people helping with the restraint, but they're not charged. And this will be the second big vigilante story I've heard of on the New York City train since the one, I think his name was Gates, when he shot the four black guys that got on the train and he said they was gonna rob him and he feared for his life and he shot him, but you can't have a gun in New York, so he ended up serving time behind them, but they were calling him a vigilante. So we'll see what that becomes. But guess what? We don't have cameras in the courtroom. So that means some lucky YouTubers around here will be inside the courtroom giving us an account of what happens on in those days. Mo is taking her little self down there. I despise the Manhattan courthouse. Let me just say that. But I will make an appearance in the courtroom and take some notes. I just have to figure out when they're going to do it, and I'll take a day off to go down there and do it. So I'll be your roaming reporter to see what's going on. They say that case should be 3 to 6 weeks or something like that. I'm so surprised, but I'm thinking that the reason why it's going to be that length of time is because we got a lot of holidays in New York that are coming up. You know, Election Day, and there's Veterans Day. There's Thanksgiving Eve. There's gonna be some Christmas and stuff like that. So uh, I'm telling. And you cannot. So yesterday, when I saw video footage in New York, you're not even allowed to use your cell phone to record in the hallway. So whoever got that kind of footage is brazen because from the minute you enter the building, it says recording is prohibited. You could be arrested. So I'm just so surprised. But then I told you I was so surprised with some other people that was down at the R. Kelly trial. And I told you I went into the federal courthouse maybe about 2 weeks after the R. Kelly trial and had ended, or the week after the R. Kelly trial had ended. And the first thing they did was take my cell phone from me after going through the security point, they take your cell phone and put it in this wagon and gave you a little car, gave you a little tag for it. So I was just surprised how many people were reporting on R. Kelly, but had cell phones and claimed they was in the building and stuff. And I was sitting up here talking about where did this come from? So anyhow, so that's the case. I will peek in on preliminary thoughts about it. There's no there, they would have to show me why he was in defense of others. And this particular performer, Mr. Michael Jackson, I've seen him several times. I've seen him on 42nd Street doing his spill. I've seen him not necessarily on a train car. So this is not somebody I knew like hello, but I have seen him in passing through the system. And if you know, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a strong advocate for the homeless. A few years ago, I used to work for an insurance company in New Jersey, and we used to have excess food during meals at during lunchtime, doing conference meetings and stuff. And I would go to Penn Station, Newark Penn Station, and hand out sandwiches to folks, right? Whatever was left over, I take the whole tray and take it down to them. And one morning on my way to work, not related, but related, I was walking to get breakfast for my coworkers, and I was on the phone talking to my bestie who's no longer with us anymore. But I had just gotten off the phone with her and I was about to cross the street when some woman who was late for work, late for dropping her kids off, hit me. I flew up in the air, boom, 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 and it was all she wrote from that moment on. And the homeless people, the same people I was feeding just randomly, saw it, came in, flew in, and assisted me. Stopped the speeding car that kept going. Didn't care she hit some lady in the street, and so on and so forth. That's another story because that's my near death moment. And it took me some time to rehabilitate and get back into a norm. And even when I came here, I wasn't 100% when I first got here on the YouTube space. So I say that to say I'm always passionate about the homeless. Even when I've had my challenges, I used to do my Mary Kay. I would go into the homeless shelters and make over women just to make them feel confident while they were there that you don't have to just reassure folks. Anyway, man, was he with me? Yes, he was. Yes, he definitely was. And every day since then, because it opened my eyes. But that's another story. And people that have been here with me for years know it, and they know how I changed, or like just the different changes I went through. So anyhow, let's just do a little YSL for the moment. And should the cameras be in the courtroom there? Absolutely. Because what did we learn from having the cameras in the courtroom? There's the pros and the cons of having the cameras in the courtroom there. We learned that we were able to get a bird's eye view of the process. And the process needs some tweaking inside their system. We learned that there is disenfranchisement against young Black males in their court system, especially if you've been affiliated with anybody that has claimed any kind of gang. I love my mom's Mary Kay lady. She lived down the street. Her name was Miss Parcella, and she gave me all the little sample lipstick. Yeah. Um, I still do Mary Kay, but I don't really advertise anymore because I've been on this YouTube, and these people around here are a little bit dangerous in this world with your money. Uh, um, so in the YSL case, we needed those cameras there because it gave us the bird's eye view of everything um, that we couldn't control when Glanville was there. And for those that were watching it, the case before Woody got involved, right? You would know that it was very anti-defense. And I always took the position of they're doing this because they know something that we don't know. And I felt it was a bias against the defendants representatives, which were their lawyers. And I still believe that in terms of Brian Steele, and it became apparent the moment that Glanville put him in contempt. The moments that you saw Glanville berate Shard. In the moment that you saw Weinstein fall back and come with the humble hand when he spoke to the court, like just always being, you leaving? All right, have a safe trip. Just being apologetic. In his presentation. We got to see, and this is not going to be a favorable comment with people who are anti-prosecutors, right? But we got to see that the prosecution wasn't prepared to be on the air. They wasn't prepared. They wasn't prepared for it. When it was Glanville's reign of terror, they were overzealous, very pushy as women, very confident, and just was like bulldozing the courtroom. And then when Judge Witt came in, they fell back, became very intimidated by her presence. And I think that's her whiteness, right? And I'm just calling it as I feel it. And they took on a position of, yes, I will. They took on a position of being intimidated by her. And we got to see that the things they were doing under Glanville, he was covering up their unpreparedness for trial. I believe these prosecutors that we saw are not prosecutors. They are plea dealers. So whatever's going on right now, this is in their realm of shaking and baking. But um this is in their realm dealing with a plea deal, whoever they can negotiate with. I wrote on my community wall today, this is how I see things. They're just plea dealers, and this fell right into play with them. Stop it. The minute Westmoreland said, I will accept a mistrial with prejudice, they jumped up on their side and got to writing their plea out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now the question is going to be, because the issue at hand when we left, with the last thing the jurors saw was the Quays being free Quay, and we don't know what Quay it was, and we was just about to sign a stipulation that there might be 3 different Quays, so we don't know which Quay it was. But you heard, um, oh, what's her name? Screaming from the top of her lungs. Oh, um, her name, what's her name? It's not Love, it's the other one, Hilton. Hilton screaming, well, I can't do a stipulation that is not one of them, because she knew it was one of them, right? That is, so she wouldn't be able to do that stipulation because she would be lying, right? But the question at hand, so what I'm saying to you, at that moment, everything that the jurors know of is that the issue was relating to the Quay. So if we come back today, 5 days later, and we got no Quay in the room, they'll be good with it. They'll be good to move. They'll be good to move on, because they understood that the last issue in front of them involved Quay. Now, here's the negotiation points as I see it, and I could be 1,000% wrong. This is just my opinion based on the information and belief of what I saw so far. Quay, why Quay hit the news a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and had his mama and his sister get arrested because he was up in the prison, allegedly, running around with the prison guard, handing out cell phones and doing all kind of um, crazy stuff. So I think you're still back to no, there's no seal. So I believe that his negotiation point, they were able to plead with him harder, because now he's got his mama in trouble and his sister in trouble. Those are weighing moments. And you got Williams there as his representative, which is a family man, Mr. Morehouse, right? He's got his kids in his law firm and so on and so forth. You know, it just became Quay became messy. First of all, you got up there on opening statements and say Quay ain't had no record. Yet Quay was running around here buying people a cell phone, and he wasn't doing it in his teens. He's doing it as an adult. Like, this is just crazy to me. You understand? So, oh, did I say Matthews? I said Williams. I said Williams. It's because the other thing that I gotta look up to see if there was a reversal with what's his name? I mean, if Ryan had a reversal, because that could have been another issue that they were behind the scenes. And let me tell you something. The minute the media was excluded yesterday, it's because it's an ex parte meeting. Something's going on. Remember, they don't have little rooms they could go to and have the prisoners or the inmates or whatever you call them, the defendants right now, in, because they're being detained. So they can't just walk into the next room on the side and have a meeting or what have you. So they're in that space that is equipped for them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the Matthews. I call them the Williams. Well, whatever. Sorry, the Matthews. I, I actually felt Matthews was too good for Mr. Huey at some point, but everyone deserves a chance and everyone deserves a representation. So that's where we are at with him. So if we come back to court and the Quays are gone, I don't think it's a problem. I don't think they're going to be able to stipulate to Mr. Ryan being a convicted felon anymore if there's a reversal. And I think that was a position that they were pushing when they didn't want to enter in the certificate that he was convicted of the crime at hand. Besides, the crime has now come in as evidence into this case as an overt act. And what we've seen is that, and if you didn't see it, you need to go back and watch the testimony. It comes across as being reasonable doubt that Ryan was the actual shooter. And here's the reason. Um, it's eyewitness testimony that you're going on off of, right? Remember in the murder of Donovan Thomas, we're looking at witness testimony. Um, it's not accurate. It's not dependable. You need other things to corroborate witness testimony. Um, and this is no different because we were confronted with Mariah the liar. The moment she took the stand and started to tell her side of the event, we could see where it could have been inaccurate or motivated at a different level. You need something else. You're gonna need ballistics that say so. And when you've got both sides shooting, it could have always been, and I'm gonna use the word lightly, friendly fire. It could have came from his friend, his other partner in the car. There are some things about the young lady's testimony that just is, you know, the different stories she told, the different variations of what could have happened. It could have been anything. I did see a video after the fact with the mother, um, with the decedent's mother, and what she had to say about her son turning his life around, and all he was doing was going to meet our girl. And this is the day after the incident, right? So here we are several years afterwards, and she's testifying, and no one believes her. So when it comes down to Ryan, I just feel like reasonable doubt was definitely presented in his case. Um, could he still be charged with the murder? Yes, because he was there, but there's no real proving that he was there other than she said he was there. Um, Blaylock, which is the other defendant, puts himself there. So I don't think Ryan, with the testimony that was provided by, or the cross-examination done by his legal team, Ms. D. Williams and Ms. Sabasi, he does never have to open his mouth and say anything. So that's that. I'm about to head out, but today is going to be an interesting day. Put your good ears to the information as you hear it, if we're allowed in the courtroom. Um, you know, just try to back up whatever you hear with what your good thoughts are about it. Don't go by what commentators are telling you and trying to influence you on the way to think about these cases. All of us can be the 14th juror. That's why the camera is in the courtroom. It allows us to voir dire the situation and see. And you know what's really interesting about this whole cameras in the courtroom is that if you are ever selected to be a juror, you're going to be more patient or less likely to really sit there, but you're going to understand the nuances of the case that you signed on for and be more appreciative of the process because you've watched it and you understand the way that it goes. So, of course, I'm going to advocate that people want to serve because we need to get we need our jury pool to look like the community that it serves. So serving in your jury is extremely important, and going to jury service is extremely important. So I encourage people to do it. In New York, everybody was trying to get out of that trial without knowing the particulars. And I think one of the questions had to do with do they ride the subway? How their feelings about riding the subway, or something that had to do with the subway. But I'll get more details because I'll probe a little harder today. Now knowing exactly which case it was. Cameras should be in courtrooms. Cameras should be in courtrooms if they don't interfere with the fair process of with the process. In the YSL case, the cameras didn't become an annoyance to the prosecutors until they got Judge Witt. Then the cameras became a problem to them because remember, they were always manipulating and running everything in that courtroom. They were telling the people when to turn on and turn off. They was in control 100%. But with the movement, when they shifted to Judge Witt, they lost that control, and it's unfortunate. Um, so more to come. Speak to you guys later. Donna. Oh, wait a minute. I had a newbie be inside the chat. Cositia. Wait a minute. Theta. Theta. I'm gonna have to blow this up so I can see, because y'all know I can't sing. The cameras are an excuse for the state now. I think they wish that they're not there, but the damage has already been done. They've been called out. We see them for who they are. We're believing them the first time we saw them, right? But at the end of the day, we need every camera in every courtroom in Fulton County to see what's going on there, because there needs to be some deep dive investigation. But since I don't live in Atlanta and people have expressed that the Attorney General is not going to be a way out, and people have also expressed that Miss Willis' endeavors are to become an Attorney General one day. Um, I think that's the worst. I think that's the worst thing that could happen based on her track record thus far. And it's not going to be the RICO with the teachers. It's going to be the fact that she misappropriated funds. She she and the way her RICOs rolled out anyway on this YSL case and whatever happened with Donald Trump's case. Just the way she ran her whole department, it really needs to be investigated it thoroughly. It honestly, I feel like every case, this is just me. I just feel like Kelsita. I got y'all killing me with things. I just feel like every case that's conducted in there right now needs to be taken over by a special prosecutor team. People need to just come in and shut down Fulton County, period. Fulton County, the courthouse, Fulton County, the jailhouse, the whole entity in and of itself needs to be shut down, investigated, repaired, sorted through. Like there just needs to be an overhaul of it. It reeks corruption. And though I may not be favorable of a lot of the attorneys that are there, when the Ashley Merchant report comes out or whatever she's finalizing with the finances, and remember she said she was looking into one thing and stumbled into something else based on their resistance towards her. The only time you are resistant as a public servant to show documents to the public is when you are misappropriating their funds. And I've been a public servant. I've been a lot of things in my career, but corrupt has never been one of them. But this reeks. Anyway, more to come. See you guys on the back end. I'll be up inside the room watching it in my normal viewing post. Even though sometimes I feel unloved over in Dear Woke Christians community at times. I appreciate you guys, but sometimes I just feel so beat up. I don't know. That's me being dramatic. Anyway, this is Mo. I've got to go. The the whole anything that is under her, um, that's underneath her in the org chart needs to be revamped. It needs a thorough investigation into it. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.